The college football playoff national championship is finally here. We have been covering literally every game.
Every game.
Since the beginning of the season. Every college football
Week
playoff
0,
game. Week 0 onward. Yeah, we were grinding those week 0 games. We're finally here. Ohio State and Notre Dame. Ryan has made the national championship. His Buckeyes. Ohio State, 8.5-point favorites. The biggest spread of any game they've had in these playoffs.
Love it.
Total's 45.5. Ryan, of course, I'm going to open with you. You've been unbelievably sharp on the Buckeyes, and your team is just rolling.
Yeah, it's an absolute roll. It feels great. I love the spot, love the position. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I felt this dominant in a team. I'm happy to see it. For this game coming up, though, it's all going to be on Ryan Day. If you decide to start the game how you started Oregon,
I love how you're
Tennessee
talking
game.
right to him.
Yeah,
you've talked directly to him for 3 straight
conversations. No, they know. The organization knows. They're winning games because
they're
Ryan
definitely
Day,
aware of you after this week.
He's locked in DJ Hour. Are you kidding me?
Definitely aware.
Oh yeah, Texas and Ohio State fans are all locked in on me. But yeah, I think Ryan Day, how he plays this game, if he goes all out, just destroy this team, it should be an absolute blowout. There's nothing really to it. Quinn, the quarterbacks we played, in my opinion, are all better except for Nico than Riley Leonard and personally speaking, and he's a really good run game. I think the wide receivers are terrible. They have a really good running back. We're really good at destroying their best thing. I don't see at all how they get down the field unless for some reason for the first game ever we decide to give up rushing yards, which we've never done to any quarterback, any coach, any player, any better offensive line, any whatever you want to call it. So like I said, Ryan Day, if he locks in with this offense and just does what he normally did, I think it's going to be a blowout. I see 17-point win in that aspect. Just because it's just levels to it. I just think we have more 5 stars, more talented player, bigger guys, and especially on defense, we're going to fly through this team on defense. Riley Leonard, if he throws two picks against Penn State, we're good for at least 2 picks, probably a fumble, a lot of sacks. I'm really comfortable in this spot. I hate to be. I don't like saying it, but I've been right, and I'm excited for it.
Wow. Yeah, so Ohio State's a juggernaut.
Yep.
Let me throw that out there to start. They're a juggernaut playing the best football they have played in years. I mean, Ryan Day, I don't think he's had a team looking better than they are right now. Maybe since he came to Ohio State. This might be the best looking team they've had since his inception. You're totally right. They have more 5 stars. They have the highest payroll of any roster. They went all in on this season, and it's working. They went out and got an experienced quarterback. The receivers are just unbelievable. Even when Jeremiah Smith, either he's going for 200 and 3 touchdowns on you, or he's taking 2 of the defenders away, and you're playing 10 on 9.
Win-win.
So yeah, Ohio State, absolutely unbelievable. And I think, a lot of people, I see the money's kind of split early in the week, but I think a lot of people are going to overlook Notre Dame and at game time be like, hey, Ohio State's going to win. They're on a 13-game winning streak, and I know. This spread should be what it is, by the way. I'm not saying this should be a closer spread, but I think it's foolish to overlook the streak that Notre Dame's on, and I think they legitimately believe they can beat anyone, and a team like that is extremely dangerous. That's when you get upsets. That's when you get a lot of crazy shit to happen. That's what we've seen this Notre Dame team do, whether it's against Georgia or Penn State, and they play their same type of football all the time, and they're executing it unbelievably well. They played 2 common opponents this year. In Indiana and Penn State. OSU, Ohio State beat Indiana 38-15, absolute blowout. Notre Dame similarly, they were up 28-3 with 1:30 left. I get Indiana scored the 2 garbage time touchdowns, but both those games were blowouts in a sense against Indiana. But put that aside. They both played Penn State, right? Ohio State beat them by 1 score. They beat them 20-13. Notre Dame obviously just beat them in the college football playoffs by 3 points. It was very similar games against similar opponents.
State.
Huh?
One was in Penn State, though. One is a neutral state.
For sure. Also, the stakes were a little different. This was a college football playoff game. But yeah, no, Ohio State beat both common opponents by more points. So I understand why the spread is what it is. I was the only one on Notre Dame, and I assume I might be again. I've kind of rode Notre Dame. I saw something in this team early in the season, or early, like mid-season, early in the playoffs, before the playoffs. And I was just like, I feel like they can run through this side of the bracket. And if it's in the Natty, I really, really do believe anything could happen, especially when Ohio State only had 2 scoring drives against Texas. And I really do think Notre Dame's defense is better than Texas. I mean, we've seen Texas give up a shitload of points a lot.
That's crazy.
It's just not true.
I mean, that's fine. You could think that. I mean, played a better game against Georgia than you did. They just held a Penn State team that was rolling over teams, dropping 30 bombs on everyone to 24 points. They turned them over when it counts. They've been getting costly turnovers against good teams and scoring and winning games as a result of it. That I think this defense is one of the best in the country. And so, yeah, I'm going with the Irish. I think they're able to hang in there. I think they keep this a close game, and they've found a way, the luck of the Irish maybe, to come out and win in big spots, and I think they do it again. So give me the plus 8.5 and give me them outright to win.
Yeah, it's actually really funny because before the Notre Dame Penn State game, I was saying that I've been wrong about Notre Dame for the past 2 times. There's no way I could be wrong a third time. And I was like, if I get corrected here, there's no way I'm wrong for a 4th time going into this national championship game. But you know what? If I'm wrong a 4th time, then so be it.
Yep.
Here's the thing, is that the reason why I think the Penn State game versus Notre Dame was so close, or kind of why they were able to come back, is more of, I think Penn State let their foot off the gas, and then your Notre Dame came out unbelievably hot in that second half. I mean, Marcus Freeman got his boys riled up, running out of that tunnel there. So, all props to coaching because, I mean, he did his job fantastically. But my whole thing is, I just think, similarly with Penn State, it's Ohio State's defense has all the key components to shut down that rushing offense. Being that Riley Leonard is so enabled because of his mobility and his rushing ability.
Threw for 260
although he did throw really well last game, but similarly, I think Ohio State has a better secondary than Penn State, and for sure, I think their defensive line is better than Penn State's.
Everything.
Pretty much almost across the board on defense, they're better.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack Sawyer and JT are going to be getting to Riley Leonard probably 9 times, like the Rams did against Sam Darnold tonight or Monday night against that in the playoffs there for the NFL. But I mean, yeah, I just don't see any way that this offense can get really productive if Ohio State plays the way they should. But it's a terrifying situation because it's exactly as Ryan said. Is Ryan Day has the ability to just almost coach to not lose instead of letting his team go and be free.
We watched him do it against Texas.
And it honestly, yeah, he kind of did take his foot off against the break against Texas, but I'm going to vouch for my team. I think we also just did what we needed to. I think our DC played perfect. And I think it was because of 2 terrible plays that we lost that game. But yeah, talking about
You're
Texas.
talking about Texas right now.
I'm talking about
Okay.
Texas. But
Brought up the Rams in Texas.
Yeah, you brought up the Rams and the Longhorns. That's in an Ohio State Notre Dame conversation.
Sharp.
yeah, sorry. But anyways, I think Ohio State is just so phenomenal on their defensive side. And I'm ignoring the fact that their offense is, Jeremiah Smith, Emeka, Cardell Tate, who came out of nowhere, not really out of nowhere, but G. Smith, who had the unbelievable, dude, he had that hard-earned third down.
Guy Smith? That was Guy
Scott.
Guy Scott, sorry.
You didn't just bring up Guy Scott.
Hey, he had a
You didn't-
couple.
No.
He had a couple really
What you
big
know about
plays.
Guy Scott?
No, he had a couple big plays there.
What
He
were
actually
his stats for that game? Did he
I
have,
mean,
did he have
3
5
catches.
catches? Did he have 5 catches?
3 catches, 24 yards, my guess.
I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm talking about the efficiency.
have?
Like when his number got called, he put up.
He had 5 for 30.
He did what he needed to when his number got called.
Why are you talking about Guy Scott?
Not
Regardless.
Travion Henderson, Quinshon Jenkins.
Like
didn't know their names.
I said, I'm ignoring their offense because I think their
Ignore it.
defense could
All right.
literally just win the game. Ohio State alt spread it. Ohio State minus 10.5.
Okay, so Ohio State.
That's a pretty
Notre Dame,
wild
Ohio
alt
State.
spread.
Mario,
2 points.
am I alone on Notre Dame for the either 3rd or 4th consecutive week?
Man, this is a tough side to choose because I've flipped back and forth a lot of times. I don't even know where to begin. I guess, looking at these teams on paper, obviously one roster is far more talented. I think Ohio State in almost every position is, I would say, better.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I mean, I think I could make an argument Jeremiah Love might be better than
I think O-lines are
Quinshon-
probably pretty comparable too.
And
but-
O lines is kind of like a wash, whatever. But I mean, I think Will Howard's a better quarterback. I think they have obviously better receivers. D line, I prefer Ohio State, especially their edge rushers, and I think they have better corners as well. So it's hard for me to kind of see a world in which Ohio State doesn't just like absolutely go nuclear on this team. But this Notre Dame team's a weird one, right? Because I haven't believed in them at any point this season, really.
Same.
It's Notre Dame every year. You know, they're going to choke. The only time I believed in them was against Indiana, which I said was the worst team to make the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Still stand by that.
I think Boise's worse.
No, I think Boise State would actually beat them. Played a harder team.
Interesting take.
maybe.
Wow.
Anyways, not those two teams are irrelevant. When they went against Georgia, that was a big kind of eye-opening test. I was like, wow, okay, they came out, made some plays. I mean, they made turnovers. They won a game where, they basically went against a team that I feel like a lot of other programs would kind of, respect in a way. I don't like where you're like, oh, these guys are better than
I know
us.
what you mean. Kind of
they're
get spooked.
Yeah,
play scared.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they weren't disrespectful or anything, but it's like, oh, they didn't fear their opponents, which you need going against these bigger schools, especially a team like Georgia. And then they roll right through them, make the plays that they need to win the game, whatever way possible. They just found a way to win. Penn State, same situation, a team where I'm like, if they play to their capability, I don't see how Notre Dame wins this game. And again, it's just they somehow find ways to win. I made a comment last week. I was like, somehow they have like God on their side. I don't know what it is, but like I genuinely believe that. Like all of them, like it's kind of like Tim Tebow-esque with the way like Riley Leonard kind of like gets his team around.
Dude,
they're all like,
Can I throw a
weird.
tidbit
I
in
don't know.
really
Ohio
quick?
State has God on their side.
Can I throw a tidbit in? So when Marcus Freeman got his coaching job, Notre Dame had a tradition where the whole team would go to a chapel before a game, every single game or home game, and it was taken away for I think it was like 13 years. And the moment he got into that position, he brought it back. And so similarly, maybe they do have God on their side.
Maybe you're on.
They go immediately from the chapel to the field every Saturday when they play a home game in Notre Dame.
yeah. And so this team, when you're looking at it, Ohio State to me feels like a team that has obviously better players and much more potential. I think if they play to their highest capability, I don't think Notre Dame can beat this team. But that's a big if. I look at, especially last week, Ohio State was a very interesting game to watch. I know the score, they won by 2 touchdowns, but obviously 2 big plays to kind of boost those 2 touchdowns. I mean, Texas, a couple yards away from like tying it, and then who knows. But even outside of that, seeing Ryan Day and just like this team slow down, and then also seeing the lack of cohesiveness on this team, it almost seems like at times they have these spurts where it's like, Will Howard's just like trying to like make stuff happen, and they're like, okay, running backs, you're kind of sitting out this drive, and then it's like, okay, receivers, you might get one target or something, but we're just gonna, no matter what, we're running first and second down. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, and then defense, like sometimes they're clicked in, like certain players, sometimes they're not. Notre Dame, like no matter what, this whole team just feels like one. I don't know what it is about them. I think they cover. So I think they cover. Do they win? I don't know.
Give me who wins. Tell me who wins. Tell the people who wins.
If I had to guess, I would say Ohio State wins the game. But something about this team, if Notre Dame wins, I wouldn't understand it, but I haven't understood their last 2 wins.
Thank you.
So
Solid.
bless you.
Thank you.
As Notre Dame would do.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's a weird spot. I don't know. I can't explain it because it's almost inexplainable, but
yeah. Okay, so
it's just a
for
weird.
the first time ever,
something weird might happen.
someone's on Notre Dame with me. We're split.
Who's there?
For the
Who's there with
spread.
Indiana
For the
for you?
spread.
Oh yeah, on Indiana. I was gonna say the last 2 weeks.
But like that game didn't matter.
Indiana was obvious. Ryan, I'll let you close it out here. Everyone kind of voiced what they thought. You just think it's gonna be a blowout. I guess maybe say something.
Murder,
I know you already
easy.
talked to Ryan.
No, I'll
today.
talk to him
But
again.
you talk to him at the end of every episode, so I'll let you do it one last time.
Talk to him.
National
Feels like
championship.
Last
First
time for
one.
the season. Hopefully it's a win.
This could be your first
hope.
win since 2014 when the
You
playoffs
guys have to
started.
win.
Yep.
Here it is. Ohio
choke.
State.
All right, Mr. Ryan Day. This is the very lucky situation you're in. Every year, teams say all year, you got to get past that one game, It's always
Michigan.
that one game you got to get past. Whether in the regular season, when it was a 2-team playoff,
got a
when it was
free
a
one,
14
though.
playoff. That Texas game, in my opinion, was that one game. It was you coached it bad, you went back to your old form, and you got past it. You're good to go now. This is an absolute blowout. You're going to get bailed out. This team, Notre Dame, is, in my opinion, worse than the last two teams you played. This is going to be a murder. I think that Ohio State comes out rumbling, stumbling. Even if they don't, our team is so stacked defensively that I'm not worried about this offense at all. Murder, do your job, get your job back, win a natty, bring OSU home, baby. Come on.
There you have
Let's
it.
go.
Wow. Let us know in the comments what you think.
Get
Drop and
electrified,
subscribe. We're on the
baby.
road
Get
to 2,000 right now. Let us know what you think of who's going to win the Natty. Ohio State, Notre Dame. If you're a fan, good luck to your team. And we're staying locked in. All college football playoffs. We'll give you the reaction to it after the game and NFL playoffs. So stay tuned in with us.